Hello everybody, welcome back to Jared Opens a Box, and yes, it is just me today. Summer was unable to join me for the Jared Opens a Box, but she should be with me for Funko Soda Sundays tomorrow. Well, she will be with me for Funko Soda Sundays tomorrow, because we already recorded that one. But just me today, and this is actually the final episode of Jared Opens a Box for 2023, if you can believe that. It's been another amazing year of opening boxes. And it has been a very fun year, lots of crazy new things that some of which I didn't really think would ever be on the channel, and we have a lot more coming next year that's going to be even crazier. But we're finishing today off with the San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusives that I got, which there are quite a few actually. There's technically 6, but one's a 2-pack. And they're kind of from all over. There's really no theme here for these, but that's what I like about the Comic-Con videos, because they just kind of go all over the place, and that's really cool. So I wanted to finish the year off with that because a lot of variety, and I wanted to get all the Comic-Cons out of the way before we head into the new year. So let's just get started. So the first one that I have today is actually from DC. This one is Trigon. Of course, one of the Justice League's greatest villains. He's also Raven's father, Raven, one of the Teen Titans. He's Pop Heroes number 473. I love the sticker from this year's Comic-Con. Thought it looked really, really cool. There is the box. He has the same box as a lot of the other DC characters that keep getting put as exclusives for the Comic-Cons. Like Dr. Fate had the same box. Raven, who was an exclusive, I think 2022, I think, had the same box. They all pretty much do when they're part of the Justice League line. Let's go ahead and open this one up and see what it looks like. Alright, this one's actually really cool. So here is Trigon. So Trigon is a pretty cool looking character. He has 4 eyes, as you can see right there. He has the horns right there. The attire is pretty cool as well. I mainly remember Trigon, like, he hasn't been in any movies or anything. He's mostly just been a villain in like the TV shows and the animated movies. He has never actually been in a live action film as part of the DC extended universe, or, well, I guess it's not that anymore. It's going to be under a different name, under James Gunn. But I'm very curious to see if they do end up using him, because he would make for a pretty cool villain. He also has like the long gray hair to show that he's been around for a very long time. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I thought this would be a cool one to get because I don't think they've ever made a Trigon pop before, as far as I can remember. I don't think they really have. They've had no reason to. But I think it looks really cool. Although, maybe they may have made one as part of the Teen Titans Go line. Now that I think about it, there may have been one, but this one's more comic accurate. That one, of course, is from the TV show. So there's Trigon. Very cool. Great way to kick things off here today. The next one I'm actually really surprised Funko made. As you guys know, Transformers got a new movie over the summer, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. I thought it was a very good movie, and we actually did a video on some of the other pops from that movie back in September. So Funko actually released one more pop from that wave, and that one is Airazor. This one is actually really cool. It's Pop Movies number 1379. So a lot of movie pops. That's probably one of their bigger markets. It has the same box as the Rise of the Beasts one. There's all the other characters that we did in the September video alongside Rhinox, who's not on there. And there's the other side of the box there. Overall, I think this box looks really cool, but let us see how they did. I was pretty surprised that they made Airazor. I mean, out of all of the Maximals, she did have a pretty important role. Really, only her and Optimus Primal did. The other ones were just kind of there, which is why Rhinox was really surprising. They didn't do Wheeljack at all, which I was kind of bummed about that, because I really liked. I'm like one of 3 people that actually liked his design in that movie. So I thought that would have been cool. Ooh, wow. So this one is actually really, really cool. So here's Airazor. It looks, I mean, that looks really cool. I like that they went with although I don't think Airazor ever actually transformed in the movie. I'm pretty sure she stayed in the her bird form, I guess, throughout the movie. She never actually transformed into anything else. So it makes sense for Funko to have kept this. She does look very, you see like a lot of the mechanical features here. The wings look very cool. She even has what looks like some gears on the back. I will say it's pretty cool to see, these characters in a live-action setting. I know a lot of people wanted the Beast Wars thing, in a live-action movie for quite a while. So really cool to finally see them get their dues. Although Airazor, spoiler. Okay, I said spoiler. Everyone good? Okay. Airazor does not make it through the movie. She is killed off. She's actually possessed by, like the Dark Energon, and Optimus Primal has to actually kill her because she's threatening everybody else. So it was kind of bummed that they did that, because I thought Airazor would have been cool to keep around at least till the end of the movie, but I guess they had to raise the stakes a little bit. So, but it's still cool. I'm really glad that they did give Airazor. Oh, she has like a tail too. The tail's also very metallic, and there is a base as well to keep the pop from falling. And trust me, those bases, I say it all the time, but I like to say it to warn people: do not try to take them out of the back of the character, because it's really hard to put it back in, and sometimes it'll actually break. So never recommend doing that. I actually did that once to one of my Venom pops, and I strongly regret it. It was a bad thing. But if you thought we were done with the Transformers, you would be wrong, my friend, because Funko released another Transformers exclusive at San Diego Comic-Con, thinking, one was not enough, and I was surprised to see that there were two. But this one's a 2-pack, one that I've been waiting for a very long time, and I'm very excited to show it to you all, because we have Rodimus and Galvatron. So this is, of course, a Pop 2-pack. Actually, this one is labeled Pop Television, not Pop Retro Toys, like the majority of the G1 Transformers were labeled. So these ones obviously being from, or supposedly being based off of their appearance in the live action, the old animated Transformers movie that came out in the 1980s, which was one of my favorites growing up as a kid. So I needed to have this, because this was my childhood, watching this movie over and over and over again, getting into Transformers, stuff like that. So it's cool to have like a pop from a modern Transformers movie, and then also having one from the older movies. Oh, I didn't even show. Well, there's the rest of the box. Obviously, Rodimus has the Autobot symbol. Galvatron has the Decepticon symbol. And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. So here is Rodimus. Actually looks really, really cool. I really like this one. They did make a pop of Hot Rod, which is Rodimus before he becomes, the Prime at the end of the movie. They did make, I guess that was also a spoiler, but the movie's been out for a long time, so you can't blame me for that one. But Rodimus is, they made Hot Rod as part of the digital Funko Pop, the NFT Funko Pop Transformers wave, I think that came out last year. I don't have any of those. I, never really got into those, but kudos to the people that did, because they have some pretty cool, they had like Devastator and all that, and they probably won't make those outside of that line. So I gotta be, a little jealous about that. But there's Rodimus. I think he looks really, really cool. He's got the chiseled jaw, which I guess is great for him. The red helmet, and then of course he has the Autobot symbol right there with like the little flames. He's got his little blaster right there. Because he does transform into like a sports car, so that's like this part right here, and you can kind of see it with all of the designs there. So they actually, I think Funko nailed it with this pop. I really like this one. I think they did phenomenal with this. It looks really, really cool. And on to the next one, though. Galvatron's a bit of an interesting case, because when this one was first announced, people were kind of pointing out that it actually didn't really resemble his movie appearance. It actually resembled his retro toy, like his actual toy, which was funny because these weren't technically retro toys. They were part of the Pop Television line. So, but yeah, Galvatron, this is actually based off of his older G1 Generation 1 toy, whereas the movie, it did have some differences. It looked a bit different. I can't remember all the differences off the top of my head, but from what I remember, he's actually mostly purple with a little bit of the pale gray color right here. So he's mostly purple in that, whereas this time he's actually mostly gray and he has a little bit of purple. So it's actually, the toy is like inverted from what the character in the movie was. And of course, Galvatron is a remastered, not remastered, he's like a reborn version of Megatron thanks to Unicron. That is sent to, obviously, get the matrix of leadership that Rodimus ends up getting by the end of the movie. Overall, I think the figure does look pretty cool. Does Galvatron turn into a tank, I believe? It's been a long time. The treads in the back here are kind of making me believe that he does, but I can't remember off the top of my head. He also does have a little cannon right here that's actually kind of glittery, which is interesting. So I think that's pretty cool. And then, of course, he does have... actually, he does not have a Decepticon symbol anywhere, which is interesting as well. But I don't know if he's really ever considered a Decepticon. He more or less just serves Unicron, so he might kind of just be his own thing. I know the box said Decepticon, but don't know what else you'd really classify him as in that position. But I overall think these are really, really cool. Definitely would recommend, especially if you've watched the old classic Transformers cartoons, TV shows, movies, because those are really, really cool to have. Obviously, Rodimus, Galvatron being those rivals, although I think they ended up bringing Optimus Prime back anyways, because Rodimus becomes a Prime because Optimus dies in battle with Megatron, and they end up bringing him back pretty soon after that, probably because they realized nobody wanted to see him, away from the cartoon. Alright guys, we have two more today. Kind of surprising options. If these weren't surprising enough, there's some more surprising options for you, including this next one, which is technically not even... It says it's from WWE, although it's not really a WWE superstar, and it's also been a while since we've had a WWE Comic-Con exclusive. But we have Johnny Knoxville. And some of you are probably thinking, maybe you've heard of him before. Isn't he an actor? Yes, he actually is. But he did compete in a couple of WWE matches in 2022. He competed at the Royal Rumble, which is what this outfit is based off of, and he also had a WrestleMania match, if you can believe that, so against Sami Zayn. So Johnny Knoxville, this is, of course, a San Diego exclusive, Pop WWE number 134. Kind of crazy to see this, honestly, and if this opens the door to some of the other celebrity, wrestlers, I would love to see, the appearances like Bad Bunny or Logan Paul, who, say what you want about them, they actually are really good at professional wrestling, so I think it would be cool to at least see some pops for those guys as well, and it totally could happen down the line. A lot of options for WWE pops right now. There he is on the back there. I think that's the one he wore at WrestleMania, actually, so they got them all mixed up, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and see what this one looks like. So the funny thing is, I was actually at the Royal Rumble that Johnny Knoxville was in, so I got to see him live. He wasn't in the match for very long. I think he was only in it for like 2 minutes. But his WrestleMania match with Sami Zayn was hilarious, and actually, it was one of the best comedy matches ever in WWE history. That's what a lot of people have said. He comes with a base. I'm not really going to use it, but there he is. Good old Johnny Knoxville. Of course, more famous for his movies. Well, I guess I can't say the name of the movies because it wouldn't be very PG of me, but basically, they're just movies where they do a bunch of pranks. And I guess some of the pranks are a little bit more dangerous than others, but you get the gist. There is Johnny Knoxville. Of course, he has his glasses on, and he wrestled with the glasses on too, which is even funnier. And then he's got his wrestling attire, I guess. That's what he wore. I think in the center, in the center it just says JK. Of course, his initials. And then he just wore like the elbow pads, the knee pads, some red shorts, and a plain white t-shirt. I guess that was the wrestling attire for him, but he still made a lot of memorable moments, so I think it's pretty cool. Really crazy that they even did this, because I imagine they would have had to get approval from both WWE and Johnny Knoxville himself, but That's really cool. I like that they did this. I think he's actually getting a WWE action figure too, so if that hasn't already happened. Um, all right, I saved, I guess, the best for last, and the reason I saved this one is because, as you know, yesterday I did finally play Marvel's Midnight Suns on the Xbox on Jared Takes the L, so I thought it was fitting that we would finally get to review this one today, because we have a pop from Midnight Suns, Ghost Rider, and this was, again, San Diego exclusive. I'm assuming it's part of the Pop Marvel line, although it doesn't really say. It's pop number 1248. It's also part of the Gamerverse line, which are pretty much any pops that are part of the Marvel, you know, video games like Spider-Man, Midnight Suns, whatever else. It was Ghost Rider on the side. I really like the box for the Midnight Suns. They only had one other pop made, which was an Iron Man pop that was actually a pre-order bonus exclusive with GameStop. So, pretty hard to find. I actually do have it. I do have it, but I didn't open it because it's kind of a rare thing. But if you didn't get it as a pre-order bonus, best bet's probably going to be eBay now, because I don't know how you would be able to find that sucker. Let's go ahead and open this one up. And this is not, as we saw in the video yesterday, this is not the classic Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze. It's actually the more modern version of Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, I think is how you say his last name. And I like this version of Ghost Rider a lot, because look at how crazy this one looks. I mean, that looks insane. His face almost doesn't even look like Ghost Rider. Normally it's a skull, like it's a skull with fire around it. This one looks almost like a mask, like a suit of armor or something, but it's the same concept as, you know, the normal Ghost Rider. It is still a skull, and of course it has the flames still around it. A little bit of flames coming out of his mouth, actually, which is kind of freaky. And then he's holding the chain right here, to the, you know, the classic Ghost Rider chain. The outfit looks really, really cool. I think this is a very, very cool looking pop, and I was really excited when they announced that they were making another pop from Midnight Suns. Probably will be the last, but it's still cool that I have this one and the Iron Man one. I still think there were a lot of other characters they could have done, but, you know, it is what it is. I still think it's cool that we got what we got, so. Oh boy, now it's time for the ratings, I guess. I do think all of them were actually really cool. This is probably one of the best lineups we have had for a San Diego Comic-Con since I started doing Jared Opens a Box here on the channel, which is going on year 4 now, if you can believe that. I think I'm going to give them all a 9 out of 10, honestly. I mean, there were really no flaws on any of these pops. I think they were all really well done. Gosh, I mean, I don't have anything bad to really say about these ones. I think they all look really, really cool. But, of course, it's also up for you guys to decide. Let me know down below which was your favorite. Was it Trigon, Airazor, Rodimus, Galvatron, Johnny Knoxville, or Ghost Rider? Let me know down below. I'd be very curious to know, because, like I said, they're all really cool, and I'd love to see your guys' thoughts on it. Let me know down below which is your favorite. Thank you guys for another very successful year of Jared Takes the L, Jared Opens a Box, and Funko Soda Sundays, but there's still one more to come tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate all of you, and I'm really looking forward to another great year. Lots of great stuff planned, lots of great stuff coming your way. So be sure to just keep on watching. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.